Hey everybody, RoseCloud9 here, and I'm going to do an inbox review, mainly because no one else really has, and it is the Great Imperial Gamillas Astrofleet Gamilla Warship from Yamato, $21.99. Here's the box. Let me just get you guys a better view, and whoop, there you go. So it's quite a big box, as you can see here, and this is a newer kit from Bandai, and pretty excited about this one. It's a big box set. This is actually my brother's. He's letting me do an inbox review for you guys here today. So you can see here we get a lot of parts in this kit. This is a big box compared to the Yamato that I built. It was like, pretty small. So I'm going to apologize in advance for the crinkling of the many amounts of cellophane plastic wrap that you're going to hear. So I'm going to put this to the side and open each sprue individually here. So here we have the instruction book. It has a completed model on the cover here, and you get 4 model kits in this one box set. So you get this big Gamilla cruiser. This is Schultz's ship, and I can't remember, I think this is Gore's ship. So this is a second option, but they mostly focus on this one here. Schultz makes me laugh every single time I hear his name in the show, because Schultz is was the name of a German eagle in a Daffy Duck cartoon they did during the war. Actually, no, sorry, he wasn't the general. He was the general's aide, and the general would always yell his name, and it was always made me laugh. So I'm just gonna adjust my camera here, just a little bit better. So it always makes me laugh when I hear his name, because he always had this really funny way he'd yell, "Schultz!" Anyways, so then you get these 2 other little Gamilla ships, and they're quite small, but it's cool that you get 2 of them. And then you get a mecha kit of one of the tanks, which is really awesome. It's quite a big little mecha kit. My brother was quite happy about that one. So what I went ahead and did is wrote down all the colors that we're going to use in Tamiya colors, because they don't have access to Gunzi colors, and they don't actually tell you what all the colors are. So we just kind of went based on what Tamiya has out. And I think our color choices are pretty good, and I'm going to be posting still picture links to this on my blog. So when you go to my blog, you can go and see all the pictures of the sprues and everything like that. And when he finishes the kit, and even while he's building it, I'll try and get him to take some pictures for me, so you guys can see the progress of this. He doesn't want to go on YouTube, which I don't quite blame him for him. He's a little worried about criticism and stuff like that. But he is on Tumblr, and he has his models there. So just taking a look at the instructions, it's very basic, typical Bandai instructions. They're really well thought out. All in Japanese, but even though they're in Japanese, they're so laid out. The Bandai has this thing, it's like they're stressing that anyone can build these models. They want anyone to be able to do it. So they make them as clear as possible, and it's really awesome, because you, the modeler, don't have to fuss too much about it. You just have to pay attention to some of the stuff, and like I said, they're really well laid out. So there's Schultz right there, or I should say Schultz. So, and there's his buddy, and then yeah, you get 2 of the little ones and the cool mecha tank. So quite a bit of awesome stuff in here. Anyways, alright, first sprue here. Cool. So these are parts. These sprues here, Sprue H, and these are for the little ships, the 2 little ones. Excellent detail, nice recessed panel lines. Little parts this time. It's kind of weird. I thought I just thought that they would have molded that onto the kit, so it's kind of interesting that way. Okay, yeah, this is the yellow pieces for the nose and other areas of the ship. They look pretty nice. They're really clear again, free from flash, which I really like about these Bandai kits. Is even their older ones, they kept trying to have them be as nice and accurate as possible. So man, you just get some really nice detail. This is kind of cool. So there's these bulges in this fin. This is for the nose there. This is kind of the hook. I kind of call this one the pike ship because it looks like a pike jaw. And it has like these other rounded pieces here. And so when you squish them together, you get them on the other side. It's pretty cool engineering there. It looks like this is mostly a snap kit, but with the little fins and stuff, you definitely need to glue those on. So it's kind of a 50-50 kit, I think. And the decals. Okay. I never used these. He built one more and he didn't use them either. He painted them on. They looked a lot better, but Bandai decals work really well, so if you are going to use the decals, I wouldn't have any worries about them. They're quite nice. Yeah, more little bits and pieces, some turrets there, and the clear parts. So what he did on his last Garmillas ship that he built, he painted these silver, just regular flat aluminum, and then he painted the front part clear orange and the back part yellow, and it looked really well, and then he gave it a gloss coat, and it looked pretty sweet. So he'll probably do that again with this. He liked that method instead of using decals. He doesn't really like using decals, so I can't blame him. Because I think I'm one of the only people that does like decals. Okay, so, oh, these are two of the same sprues. Okay, so here's the basic size of the smaller ships. So, they're actually pretty big. They're bigger than I thought they'd be. Again, really excellent detail with the recessed panel lines and everything. I'm just going to move this one out here. Pretty nice. Yeah. Yeah, quite a bit of detail. Good detail, too. I'm really happy with that. Here we go. Come on. This is the... Oh, yeah. This is an interesting part. Very interesting part. Okay, so you get the display stands. I don't like the display stands. These things here, they don't really support the model strong enough. So I've convinced him to let me make him some, kind of like I did for the Yamato. The models themselves are too heavy for these display stands. Like, they just fall over on one side. And one guy was telling him you have to counterbalance them. That's a lot more work than you need, and it's just easier to make these out of brass rod or something like that. So that's what I'm gonna do for him. Oh, this one's a double stand. Cool. So you can put both of them on here. Yeah, this is what I want to show you guys. The tank treads are link in length, but there's only 3 parts to each side. There's little pegs on them, and so you just push them in. That's going to be really cool to see how that works out. I really like that design from Bandai. You know, just to make a really simple track that everyone's going to want to use. And then here's part of the intakes and stuff for the front of the ship. Almost done here. Okay, unfortunately, when it comes to these labels, they don't give you them in English like they did with the Yamato. So, unless you know Japanese, they're kind of useless. Um, but here's the bottom of the ship. Man, this is so cool. All these rocket pods here. Man, that looks wicked. So here's where the display stand goes, but it gives you a cap in case you don't want it. And that's what I'm going to do, is just put the cap on there, drill a hole through it, and it'll actually be quite a bit stronger that way. So, man, this looks great. Really weird color that they used. And the last, no, not the last sprue, one of the last sprues is mostly the tank. So here's the tank, here's the bottom chassis, and they give you quite a bit of detailed parts in it. It's a nice little mecha kit, so I'm quite happy with all the little detail. Like here's all the wheels, here's the suspension, side skirts. It's pretty cool, really nicely done. And then these are just some more little turrets and additions for the ship. They all look really good. Oh, and here's the bridge right there. And so you have to paint the windows on it. Looks pretty darn good. And the last one here, I don't know what happened here. All of them were packaged up except one, and it had a piece fallen off of it. This piece is just a connector for the interior of the ship to hold it together. But this is just more parts of the ship. And this is the upper surfaces of upper deck, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Like here's the neck for the bridge, and this is part of the front of the ship. Yeah, all looks really well. I don't know why it was like that. I bought this off of Amazon, and it was sent from Japan. I have a feeling it was someone in Japan who bought it and then didn't want it anymore, and had opened up one bag or something like that. I've had that happen before. But here's a problem I have to say with the ship. The back here at the paint guide, these are actual pictures of the model kit. And the problem with this is they didn't exactly get the colors properly. Because on the bottom here, I can see that this is lighter, a much lighter green than here. This makes it look like a darker green, but it's actually a very light green. And as well as here, this is a very orangey yellow. And here, it's a very pale looking yellow. So because they did that, you don't quite get an accurate assumption or idea of what the actual colors to this model are going to be. So you have to do your homework, you have to look up online. If you know Japanese, you can read all the paint guides in here. But, and there's a couple websites where people are posting what these are. I don't, really care too much about it, because I'm just going to go with whatever's closest available. And like I said, we went through yesterday and we highlighted what all the colors are going to be. Like one thing that we noticed is this upper hull color here looks different than the color here for the smaller ships. But then we made the realization that these two ships are from the same base. So these colors are the same, especially when you watch it in the show. So it's just, and you can kind of see it in the top view here, that the color is actually the same, but it looks a little different. It's rather confusing, but you get through it. You just got to do a bit of homework and kind of do your best guesswork. I don't think there's any really wrong answer as long as you're kind of close to it. I don't think anyone's going to really care. But really impressive looking model, really big. I can't wait to see how big this is going to be compared to my 1000 scale Yamato. I don't know if I mentioned that, but this is also a 1000 scale. They have kind of three scales that they focus on. They have 72nd scale for some of the ships. They have 1000 scale for kind of a general for all these other ships and the Yamato and a bunch of the other ones and stuff like that. And then they have an oddball scale for all the mecha ships, so they're just box fit for the Mecha kits. But anyways, really happy with this kit. It's really cool. He's going to have a ton of fun building this one. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. And thanks again to my brother for letting me do a review for you guys. Like I said, I'm going to go take pictures of all the sprues and put them up on my blog. So hopefully I'll remember to post a link to that down below, so you can go check that out if you want. And remember, Rebel at Cloud9 at Blogspot. There's lots more model kit stuff there. There's always my still galleries. It's most likely the part where I'll put up, kind of anything modeling related that I don't quite put out here on YouTube. So you can check that out if you like. If not, that's totally cool too. But yeah, I'm loving these Bandai kits. I'm looking at the Star Wars kits now. There's a couple that I really do want, but for the most part, I'm kind of like, they're okay. But for the Yamato kits, I'm just loving them. They're so much fun to build, and to just even look at how they engineered them and put them together is just amazing, and such a feat from Bandai. I really wish that these kits would jump over to the North American and European distributors, because they're showing us a different way that they can build snap kits that are advanced enough for people who want to learn how to build the hobby and stuff like that, but still have the complexity of the engineering that average modelers that want to go through detailing and painting and all this stuff are going to still want to build them. So they're really proving a point that snap kits can still work in society. Because usually you look at a snap kit and you go, oh, don't want to do a snap kit. They're proving everybody wrong, that you still want to do snap kits. So thanks everybody for watching. This is Rubs of Cloud 9. I'll see you guys next time.